Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
What's going on, Cavs fans? Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Block the Shot to Stop. I'm Skylar Webker, and joining me is founding father, friend of the program, friend of Kevin and mine, and just all around good dude, Tim Daniel. Tim, welcome back on to the Block the Shot to Stop.
Man, it's so good to be back. I have missed talking about Cavs basketball for better or for worse. So when you text me, I was like, I've got to do this. I have to. I've been sitting on this bench for too long. I had a long mental break. I was like, I gotta get my takes off.
Hey, always welcome on. You can come on every night if you want, but the different season
you and Kevin are killing
cover
it,
this
man.
year.
You and Kevin are doing such a great job. I don't want to mess with your guys' flow. I think you guys are
appreciate it, but very different season this year compared to last year's magical season.
Yeah, is it my fault that it's I left the show and then they have a frustrating year? Should I have stayed here and maybe with the vibes would have stayed high?
You always bring good vibes, dude.
Maybe this week they'll beat the Bulls twice since I'm here. So
that would be a dream. So since we last hopped on, Cavs put on the show against the Wizards and then played today against the Hornets. And really the storyline of both of those were exciting comeback fourth quarters. And then that was it, like 3 quarters of frustration and then a winning fourth quarter, which resulted in a win in Washington, but went to overtime tonight where the Cavs this was not the team to go into overtime with, especially being shorthanded with yet another injury, this time to Evan Mobley, who will be out 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, one of the 2 guys you really can't afford to have an injury to. So that part sucks. And a team you're going to see again on next Monday as they come back to Cleveland. So their schedule between Charlotte tonight, Chicago, and then Charlotte again for Christmas. You're like thinking, especially going back to Washington, having a week off, you're like, oh yeah, this is where they should stack wins. And now you're like, if they split with Chicago, that'd be great. But no, I mean, it's just been really irritating because it is a lot of and I'll be honest, I mean, the Golden State game was really irritating, obviously. And I didn't think they played bad in the Golden State game. I just think they couldn't hit a shot for the life depended on it. And then in Washington, it was not an encouraging performance at all. Donovan Mitchell, it feels like at times has to be 2018 LeBron. And, it's like not fair to him that he has to go through that because we all love Donovan Mitchell. He's first team All NBA for a reason, but he's obviously not 2018 best player in the world. And then, today it's kind of just like, I thought defensively, I thought they were fine. I mean, Charlotte hit a lot of shots. Don Knippel is awesome. Brandon Miller is awesome, but they're without LaMelo, which I don't think LaMelo matters for wins or losses. I think we need to calm down about that case. They're down Colin Sexton. Where they're getting beat, and you could see how much Mobley was missing immediately. And it was great Jared Allen was back, but when it's like Naquan Tomlin, who we all love Naquan Tomlin, but we think probably should not be, the first center, the first big off the bench. That's where the Cavs are at right now. And I thought Thomas Bryant played fine today, but did get beat by Moussa Diabate a couple times on some rebounds he really needed to get. It's those things there where it's like the little things where last year when we did the show, we talked a lot about these little things that they did so well. And for example, how many times last year did I say, man, Donovan Mitchell is so good at grabbing a long rebound, or man, Darius Garland's so good at finding a way to get into the paint and figuring out what and making a decision from there. Or man, Evan Mobley's so good when he's sitting in the dunker spot. I listen to you and Kevin every week. You guys have not said that once, and it's not your fault you haven't said that once. It's just the way things are going right now with the team. And I don't know, I have a hard time believing that losing Ty Jerome and Isaac Okoro make this much of a difference in Tristan Thompson. But obviously something's off, and it's been really, really baffling to try to figure out what it is.
It's, to me, it seems like everybody is playing scared in the sense of like, you're not seeing as much driving from Darius Garland because he's not trying to drive into the paint and get hurt because he's already nursing something. You're not seeing driving into the paint with Lonzo Ball. Same thing. He doesn't want to risk the injury to get hurt. You don't really see. We're starting to see it come back a little bit, but it was a lot of just kind of catch and shoot for Evan Mobley. It wasn't a lot of driving to the hole. And those are a lot of things that I think are really, really contributing to the offness of this team and the offness of this season as a whole. I mean, the drives on this team have completely vanished. And I don't know if that is I don't know if the drives from the team vanishing or just the personnel wise. I don't know if that's injury. I don't know if that's coaching, but it just seems like nobody on this team besides Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Tyson want to drive to the basket at all.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Craig Porter Jr., I think I'd put in that case too. I think those are the three guys that, like, they want to make something happen in the paint and go from there. I thought Craig Porter Jr. was obviously awesome on Friday in that Wizards game when they were making that comeback. Him and Mitchell really kind of led the way. And the thing about Mobley that's so funny is because if you listen to every national player, people talk about Mobley, and obviously we know my favorite player. And obviously we're going to get, I know you want to talk about the injury here in a little bit, but the thing about Mobley that's so funny is we're all talking about him like he's like uber disappointing. And while I agree, yeah, the Cavs do need more from him, he's been really good still. He just hasn't, he's not taken the step we all thought he was going to take it. I think that's where people are disappointed. But, he's just as good as he was last year. It's just the team's not playing as well, and they need more from him. So I kind of like feel bad for him, but then again, I understand where the frustration is from. And I think we're also just extremely impatient as fans with professional athletes. I mean, like, we all knew Shea was great, but it took Shea how long to become the MVP of the league? Not saying Devin Mobley is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander by any means, but it's going to happen. He's going to be fine. Hopefully he's back by Christmas, but that doesn't seem promising.
Yeah, he is putting up the numbers and he is contributing to this team. I think the part that gets hard, especially this season, I would say last season it wasn't as noticeable, and maybe it's because we're looking at him with a microscope after winning the defensive player of the year, but it's the consistency of having that impact game to game or half to half. I mean, there were times last year where holy cow, this is the Evan Mobley game, he's dominating, and then disappears in the second half. We saw a little bit of that this year when they kind of came into camp saying like Evan Mobley is going to take the next step. He's going to be the focal point. He's going to run the offense. And it didn't quite come out like that out the gate. And
sure.
I'm sure he will get there, like you said. And the Shea is a great comparison, by the way, as far as like, this is the guy that was kind of the throw in the Paul George trade. And
now he's the best player in the world.
Really making that trade look lopsided.
Yeah, now he's debatably the best player in the world for sure. Yeah, this is what I refer to, Skylar, as basketball card stats. So you're ripping some tops, NBA hoops. You turn the back. You could be pulling Evan Mobley out of the pack. You turn it around. You see what's on the back of the basketball card. You go, it looks really good. But when you watch it, you're like, this could be better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the stats as a whole, you're like, all-star. This guy's playing well.
Yeah,
but it's and then again, where the Cavs are, last year was magical. Nobody thought you would have 2 15-plus game winning streaks. So I totally understand the context of this season. And man, the injuries will not stop this season, and Evan Mobley being the latest victim of it. 2 to 4 weeks kind of recovery or estimation timetable that they gave on a, what was it? Knee sprain? Calf strain.
Yeah.
So,
which
sucks to lose that guy.
Yeah, you definitely, obviously, after Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt in the finals, you kind of understand you're going to see more teams take precaution when it comes to those things. Wembanyama was just out with a very similar thing. He just came back in the cup semis and looked awesome, like he always does. So you understand it and you appreciate it. So one thing that really jumped out to me, Dan Devine tweeted this. Last year, between the core four, they missed a combined, between the four of them, 31 games combined. This year already, they've missed 29 games, the core four combined. So, and counting, obviously, and counting, because Mobley's going to be out for a little while. And certainly injuries matter. They certainly play a part in it. You know, when you're out 4 rotation guys from every night, that's going to add up. But, you know, Mitchell said it tonight. He's like, I'd boo us too. He's like, injuries obviously play a part, but everything's really on us. And we know what needs to be done, and, you know, it's up to us to do it. So I think he's been a great leader for the team still, even through all this. I went and watched him play the first Bulls game in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and that was a pretty epic game. But I think that, I don't know, man, I just have a hard time believing that it's going to go this way all year. It could. It very well could. But I have just this feeling that post All-Star break, we're going to see them kind of tap back in the form. They're probably not going to be a top 3 seed in the East at this point. Just because, you know, Orlando, New York, they're all playing really well. But I still think being a home court advantage team is still a possibility. And I still think it's a team you probably don't want to play in the playoffs. And I still think this is a team that, you know, maybe this is wishful thinking. Maybe this is glass half full, but I just feel like they're probably not going to win 16 games in a row again like they did last season, but I just think they're going to find their stride at some point. I mean, I don't think DeAndre Hunter is really this bad. It's like, I don't think it's possible.
That was the name at the tip of my tongue, was like, we haven't been getting DeAndre Hunter that we got last year.
No,
and granted,
absolutely not.
It's different when you come in here versus from a trade versus being with them, the team all summer, and in the meetings and everything. Like there's been more time, but you kind of would think things would get better with time, and it hasn't. I mean, the stats are awful this year.
Yeah,
the effort's awful. I think Brad Daugherty called it out on the game tonight, where
that was awesome. That was so good.
Yeah, Brad Daugherty was not. He's tired of it too. Where he's like, you can't just not like go out and guard your guy. Like, he helped collapse, and then no effort, no interest in trying to close out on that 3. And Brad Daugherty called it out. I'm sure Kenny's calling it out. Kenny's kind of been calling it out without putting a name to it, saying our vets aren't stepping up. And, well, you're not saying that about Donovan Mitchell.
No, he's been pretty good defensively, realistically, all year. Like,
exactly.
He's been pretty solid.
You're not saying that about the guys that have been in and out with injury, with Sam Merrill, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen. There's only so many more vets on this team. So I think something's got to happen. I don't know what it is. I'm with you that I think they'll hit their stride eventually, but something's got to happen, because it can't be Jalen Tyson and Donovan Mitchell bringing the energy every night.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man. So, like, not to kind of just continue to say this, but I still, you know, I lean more into Jalen Tyson, Donovan Mitchell, and Craig Porter bringing the energy. I feel like every time Craig Porter's out there, he just kind of brings a new vibe to the game. And honestly, Thomas Bryant does too. Like, for some reason when he comes, like, it's not like he's putting up like jaw-dropping statistics by any means, but like when he's in the game, his vibe is felt, and he brings a good energy, like that Portland game, and obviously another embarrassing loss. But when they're making the run, you know, he's the one that's out there kind of like getting the crowd into it and stuff. Here's what I'm going to complain about. And this might be more betting advice for people. When the Cavs are playing these bad teams, so Golden State, Charlotte, Portland, Washington, every single one of these games, they're double-digit favorites. I'm not saying don't bet the Cavs to win, but don't bet the money line. Bet the spread on the other team because the Cavs might win the game. But when they're 12-point favorites, they're winning by 4. When they're 4-point favorites like San Antonio is when they're winning big. So in these Chicago games, they're definitely going to be favored in both games. They're probably going to be, I'd say, anywhere between 7.5 and 10.5 in those games. So keep an eye for that. Come when the morning of the day when the spreads come out, and if they are double-digit favorites, bet the Bulls in the spread. The Cavs may win the games. I would say they likely will, but the spread's gonna be much closer than the insane thing FanDuel's doing, where they're basically saying like, "Here's free money."
But you bring up fun stats. I think my fun stat was in this Wizards game with Naquan Tomlin, 10 minutes, 6 personal fouls.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
That's incredible. That is James Jones Jr. type of,
That's
stat line.
Was it Dante Jones and he got picked up from the finals team and he got fined more than his whole salary?
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, so they picked him up, was it like right at the end of the season to where he'd be eligible to be on the playoff roster. And the playoffs he got fined for, it might have been in the Toronto series, where the fine was like $5,000 or something like that. It was far more than what he made. So LeBron paid his fine.
I think I do remember that now. Now that I didn't remember, yeah. That's crazy. And the amount of like fines that these guys like go through is wild. I mean, same thing in the NFL, just wild how much fines cost. I think it was Jamar Chase had like a $500,000 fine for spitting on Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine just chucking $500,000 in fines? Like, that's crazy.
I know, man.
But I'm getting sidetracked here. Back to, so we can start with the Wizards game, which, like I let in, wasn't anything great by any means. They got out to a hot start, but then kind of fell asleep in the middle of it, and I didn't get to watch the full game. But by the time I turned it on, they were down 15 points going into the fourth quarter, and just like they remembered how to play basketball again, like fourth quarter heroics to come on back and end up winning that game by 4. But what did you see? Who did you see in this game that stood out that you liked? Obviously it wasn't Naquan Tomlin, but who else did you like?
So the thing that jumped out to me most about the game is, like you said, I appreciate you brought up when you went quarter by quarter. The middle quarters, they were outscored 73-50 by the worst offense in the league. And it wasn't like they were taking difficult shots either. That was what was maddening. I can live with you're like right in their space and they're just hitting, like they're calling bank on everything and getting some lucky shots here and there. That wasn't happening. The Wizards were just flat out just like doing what they wanted to do offensively during that stretch. And a lot of that goes to the Cavs are like a team that switches a lot. They do a lot of switching on defense. So that's going to happen, but it's just happening too often. So that's the frustrating part that I saw. I mentioned it. Mobley that night looked really, really good. I think he was 3 of 7 from 3, and he came out hot immediately in the first quarter. Looked really, really good, and then kind of cooled down the rest of the way. Obviously, Mitchell doing Donovan Mitchell things, tapping into his 2018 LeBron James, as I joked about earlier. That helped a lot. Darius Garland in that game, Skylar, was 6 of 17 from the floor. He was 6 for 6 inside the 3-point line.
0 for on the 3-point line. 0 for 11.
Yes. So that was very irritating. I don't know, man. It just kind of was, it kind of goes back to just like that lack of cohesion that you're seeing from this group right now that just doesn't make any sense. And there's not much they can do to improve it besides just figure it out on the court. Just because obviously with the apron stuff and things like that. So that was just kind of a frustrating performance where it's very irritating that they have those games. It's very irritating that the competition they're playing those games against where they're playing like that. But at the same point, you're like, man, Donovan Mitchell is so awesome. And when he goes on those heaters, no matter who the competition is, you can't help but enjoy it because of who it is.
Yeah. One thing that I'm noticing a lot in this team this year, and especially in this game, was like you said, they're doing a lot more man defense, where last year it was zone. They played zone defense way more than any other team in the league.
They're really good at it.
And they were fantastic at it. So I don't know why they're kind of sticking to this man defense all year. And I don't know if it's to like reverse what happened last year, where they played zone all year and then the league caught up and then they had to play man, or if it's like they just need to figure out how to play man defense, because right now they're not that great at it. I mean, they're about middle of the league in every statistical category.
Yeah, but I still think defensive rating, I still think they're like top 10 somehow.
I mean, when you have Darius Garland blocking shots and Craig Porter Jr. blocking shots, and
Craig Porter Jr. is a good defender, though. There's a difference. Like Craig Porter Jr. can legit play defense.
He could. Well, it's mostly hustle and effort, I would say. Like he is a hustle and effort defender, where you want that to rub off on everybody else, because Craig Porter Jr. has no business digging out these rebounds and getting these inbound steals other than just trying, which feels weird to say that the rest of this team isn't trying, but like that is felt by fans. It's got to be felt by teammates, that just heart and hustle effort.
Yeah, they went into tonight 9th in defensive efficiency.
Still, I mean, last year they were first in everything.
Yeah. And I mean, look, they're still top 10 in offensive efficiency, and it does not feel that way at all. So
no, it doesn't. Like, they could just be like how many stinker teams they got this year. Like Indiana, Spurs.
I mean, even so, they're not winning these games by a lot. I mean, you know, the Bulls were the first game that they had to come back from being down, and you're going like, you know who you're playing, right? And so there's certainly two. But yeah, you know, with Washington, and they certainly have talented guys that I like, that I think are going to be formidable NBA players who are young, but no excuse. I mean, I like Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington should not be destroying you. Like he's not that kind of guy. CJ McCollum, his age is past the point where he should be a guy who's dominating you, especially when he's playing out of position. You know, if there's a way the Cavs could get CJ McCollum and the Wizards could take the salary, he'd be like a perfect fit for this team right now. But that's not possible. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, honestly. So yeah, you know, obviously you're frustrated because it's the Wizards, but you're obviously appreciative of just how fun it is when Donovan Mitchell goes on those heaters, and you just can kind of sit back and enjoy it. But also you just kind of want to know, when is this going to get better? When is this going to click? And it certainly wasn't tonight.
And yeah, it wasn't tonight. We flip ahead to the Hornets game here, and you mentioned it before, where these Donovan Mitchell gets on these heaters and feels like he has to strap the back to his team, be the 2018 LeBron, which I don't know if there's side story here. Have you heard Al Horford talking about facing the 2018 LeBron?
Every 2018 LeBron story, I have heard it because I am so fascinated by it. Like, it's the most fun thing for me to listen to. It's just people talk about when they had to play him that year, and just how they were just kind of like, what the F do you do? Because it's true, man.
It is true. And they were talking about how Boston had to face them in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, everybody's just gassed. Everyone's just so gassed. And LeBron is not even like out of breath at playing every single minute of that series. And he's not even out of breath. Like, he's waiting for them to get onto the court. And it's like, wow, it's such a good story. But you're seeing Donovan Mitchell have to do that.
Yeah, Game 7 in that year, round 1 against Indiana. I guess Thaddeus Young went up to me. He's like, "Are you playing the whole game?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm playing the whole effing game."
And you wonder, like, how many wins can the Cavs get if they have to have Donovan Mitchell strap into the back. And I'm going to say not as many as you'd like. Not as many as last year, clearly. And so this team needs help, or these guys need to step up to help Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he needs help. And you've mentioned multiple times, Jalen Tyson's obviously bringing them something that's helpful. Tyrese Proctor, who I'm kind of petitioning to play more because I feel like he's pretty effective out there. He's obviously helps them out offensively, can help stretch the floor. But obviously not a guy who's quite ready just yet to be part like that level. But the Cavs have been so good at draft and development with these young guards, the Craig Porters, the Jalen Tysons, who I guess is more of a wing, etc. Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, so on and so forth. But they need these guys to kind of step up. I know Kevin, was it last week or the week before in your guys' show, mentioned like let the kids play. And at this point, Craig Porter Jr. has been a better player than Lonzo Ball. Daquan Tomlin's been better than Larry Nance Jr. It's hard to say because those were the two big moves that they made in the offseason were to get those two guys. But at this moment, and I understand Larry Nance is hurt. Lonzo Ball's not playing back-to-backs. But I think those guys are giving them that little extra humph. And Mitchell even mentioned it tonight in his postgame press. It's like, the young guys have been phenomenal. They're the guy, they're giving us the energy we need. And that's why I'm kind of like hashtag play Tyrese Proctor.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because these guys that you think are going to contribute in high levels, and not saying Lonzo Ball isn't, because he is doing a lot of other things on the floor, but
right,
I do not want to see him shoot ever again, like ever. I never want to see Lonzo Ball shoot the ball ever again, especially because all he does is take threes, and he's horrible. He has taken more threes than your 3-point sharpshooter in Sam Merrill. Granted, Sam Merrill hasn't played in 3 weeks now? But
can we get a damn details on that? I feel like it's like every day it changes. It's like, oh, today he's fine. And it's like, oh, but there's still some concerns about where it's like, what's the deal? Just tell us what's going on.
There's been a whole shroud of secrecy around Sam Merrill for some reason. And
there has.
I feel like they brought Jared Allen off just because Evan Mobley went on to the injured list. Like, I don't get it.
I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was bad today, though.
Wasn't bad for sure, but like there was never an update on Jared Allen, and it's like,
it was like, oh, all of a sudden,
and now Jared Allen's back.
Right. You're right.
And for a team that was so healthy last year, so healthy, to have all of this, hopefully all of this is just here in the beginning, and they're going to be healthy in the playoffs and rise to the occasion. But this team hasn't shown me that they're able to rise to the occasion. I mean, they came back, tied the game here late in the fourth quarter. You felt pretty decent, and then didn't score a single point in overtime.
First time in a decade a team went scoreless in overtime. Not the Cavs, the full National Basketball Association.
I love that you full name, full legal name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will say, not that this is the reason they lost, because I stick with the rule that we had last year when on the show. You never blame the refs, but there were a few calls in overtime that I'm like, what? How is that not, whatever. It is what it is. But also, can't swallow your whistle there. And I think that kind of helped the fourth quarter come back in Washington. To kind of go back to that, as Mitchell was like, call the effing foul and got a technical. And all of a sudden the Cavs got hot from there. So,
and Donovan Mitchell's not a bark to the ref guy. So
nope.
If
he's barking
at you, if he's barking at you, like you got to know that. All right, I'm probably missing some out here.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't know. This game was just frustrating to watch in the sense of it is Charlotte, and Charlotte without their best scorer, which you can say whatever you want for LaMelo Ball not putting in winning effort or anything. He still is their best scorer. And
I don't know, man. Concanipple might have taken the throne from him. He's pretty awesome. He's really good.
Admittedly, I probably haven't watched as many Charlotte games as definitely not you, and probably not Kevin either.
Yeah, because I'm a lunatic. I'm well aware. Yeah, I watch too much basketball. But I mean, he's the offensive rookie of the month the first 2 months of the year. He realistically probably should. I mean, the Eastern Conference rookie of the month. Really, probably should be the favorite for rookie of the year. And you saw it today. Him and Brandon Miller killed the Cavs. I mean, Brandon Miller had 13 rebounds as the 2 guard, and also had 6 assists.
That's pretty good. I mean, Jalen Tyson also got you 13 rebounds.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought that when, Garland took that hit from him at the end of the game, that should have been called an offensive foul, but I digress. It is what it is. You just got to move on.
But I don't know, this to lose to this team shorthanded, granted you're shorthanded yourself, sucks. It sucks, man. Like, there's no way around it. Just like the Golden State game when nobody was playing and you got beat by like the G League Golden State Warriors.
Pat Spencer just going crazy. I text my buddy who works for the Warriors after that game. And I was like, where the hell did you guys find Pat Spencer? He goes, we're really good at scouting. And I said, then why'd you draft James Wiseman?
Fair questions. I don't know, man. Like, losses like this feel very deflating and very demoralizing, and I'm having a hard time finding good things to say other than, Darius Garland had a good game. That's about all I got. Darius Garland had a good game.
Yeah, man. You're right. I mean, I think where, like you kind of mentioned, like Lonzo's shooting is obviously abysmal. 28% from the floor, 26% from 3, 71% from the line. But great rebound and assist guy, super disruptive. I thought played really well tonight, obviously defensively, and kind of had like some opportunities that he really made happen. Another FanDuel thing, by the way. Lonzo Ball over rebounds and assists is like my new Evan Mobley points, rebounds, assists bet from last year. It's like
nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid one. As long as he's playing basketball, of course. But tonight, like you said, like they don't have LaMelo Ball, and you should take advantage of that. But I like Musa Diabate. I think he's a good player. Should not be beating the Cavs players on the boards. Ryan Kalkbrenner, who is really tall. I liked him a lot in college, but is not physical enough to be beating the Cavs players on the boards. So that's where I'm like really, really, really frustrated. Tijan Salon just kind of taking Cavs players out of the other place offensively. That's unacceptable. And like you said, like there's some pluses on the Cavs side, but this is where I go back to. You just had this night the other day where Craig Porter Jr. is incredible for you in the fourth quarter. Plays 4 minutes tonight. I get the size thing. Why is he not playing? Tyrese Proctor. Why are we up and down with this? Like, what's the situation here? Should he be playing more time with the Charge at this point? Like, because he's been pretty solid for you, realistically, for where you drafted him. Like, he has certainly overcome that. But he plays 6 minutes tonight. And those two, you know how many shots those two took combined? I don't know if you have the box score up, but if you don't, do you know how many shots those two took combined?
0.
Boom. Big juice sack. And Tyrese Proctor was a +6.
Giving you something at least.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant tonight, 10 and 6, +6. But hit a 3. Missed one shot the whole game.
I don't know. Maybe this is a Kenny thing. Maybe Kenny's got to figure out.
I don't think so. I really don't. I just feel like this is a players thing. This is a nothing's changed. I get Jordan Ott moved on and got the head coaching job in Phoenix, but what's really changed about their schematics? Like,
I don't know, man.
You mentioned they're not playing as much zone. Yeah, absolutely. They're switching a lot more, but they aren't getting loose balls. They aren't getting 50-50s. They're getting long rebounds are not going their way offensively or defensively. They're getting themselves in foul trouble way too much. They're putting too many teams at the line. Corner threes are optional for them to guard. it's just kind of like this thing where, and I'm not trying to hijack your show by any means, but it's just kind of like how much of this is really like, I saw people today, our friend Tony Pesta from Junkyard Dog was interacting with fans, and they were like, how much longer is this before Kenny gets the boot? And he's like, this isn't a Kenny Atkinson problem whatsoever. This is a player problem, and they know what they need to do.
I mean, if they know what they need to do it. Because
I agree.
Going this far in the season has been abysmal to make it to basically Christmas, and you still don't really have it together.
Yeah, we're coming up on 30 games. They're 15-12. I didn't think they would go 64-18 again, but I did not think we would talk about them being 15-12.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. But like you said, their stretch from here to Christmas is easier, so you hope that they can stack some wins up. They go off against the Bulls here this week. Back 2 games against the Bulls.
Yep,
this
home
week.
And home.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But Tim, around here we like to close our shows. Typically on Wednesdays we close them with Dads Talking Cavs, but I wanted to get you on here to have the Dads Talking Cavs moment. This is your parenting win, parenting loss, free parenting advice. What you got?
So, couple. So obviously for those of us who live in the Midwest area, as we know, we had quite the snow this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty rough. I know Kevin's over in Chicago, like, yeah, whatever, guys. But so today we went out in the snow, played in the backyard, had a lot of fun. And we did the thing where we had a sled that my wife got from her grandmother a couple years ago, and we just kind of were always like had no use for it because we weren't getting as bad snow as we did this time around. But we did it today where my dogs were able to pull my daughter in the sled, and it was flat out the funniest thing in the universe, just watching her just enjoy herself. She didn't fall out. It wasn't like it was a dangerous thing. Our yard's not risky like that. So for those who want to call CPA on us, it wasn't like that. But just kind of seeing her kind of live in the moment and really enjoying it. And it was a blast, man. And something I definitely appreciate. And then we just she's in pre-K now. So we're having a lot of fun watching her kind of learn how to do like the education thing and seeing the skills she's picking up there. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. We've
been better than watching the Cavs.
Well, way better.
Yeah.
Way more fulfilling than watching the Cavs. That's for sure.
Yes.
We did the same thing, went out and played in the snow and got the sleds out and everything like that. Had a good old family Christmas for sure. For mine, we had some guests coming over and needed to get some kind of last minute Christmas stuff. And so we bought stuff. It wasn't coming in time. So you're like, great. So I got to go out somewhere to buy things. It sounds horrible. So packed up the family, went out to Easton, out down here in Columbus, and had a Lego store, which I was never a Lego kid growing up or anything like that, but obviously all the colors and stuff, like that's where my son wanted to go to the Lego store. So went in there and he was having a good old time just looking at everything, playing with, like, we don't have a ton of Legos. Like we have a couple little things here and there, but he was just beside himself of like how grand it was. And just like I curiously living that through him, and I don't know, just seeing how excited just going to the Lego store was. And we ended up spending money there, but that's besides the point. The experience of that was super fun to watch, and just that childhood wonder around the Lego store of all things, man. It was cool to watch.
I love the Lego store, so I get it. And yeah, man, there's nothing like kind of seeing it for sure, man. Like Toys R Us are coming back. Those who know me know how much I love action figures and collectibles. So I am hoping in the Cincinnati area we get one so I can take my kid and she can become a Toys R Us kid as well. That's what I'm hoping for. But actually Cleveland's getting one. So
fun. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, for that, we'll go ahead and pack it up out of here. Please like and subscribe and follow us on all of the social media platforms. We're on all of them, as well as the free version, audio version of this podcast. We're on all of the platforms. Subscribe over on YouTube as we continue to try and grow that channel. Tim, follow Tim on everything. He's getting back into the Cavs game, hopefully here soon. He does great Reds content, and also, honestly, just a good old dude to interact with.
Thanks, pal. Likewise.
For that, he's Tim Daniel. I'm Skylar Webker. And as always,
parents, don't let your kids become fans of Ohio professional sports teams, but go Cavs.
go Cavs.